So you've decided that you want to start a local newsletter or maybe just a newsletter in general. And now it's time to actually start setting it up. So in today's video, I'm going to walk through how you can get started and set up your newsletter in about 15 minutes. Let's jump into it. Okay, so I have this checklist here for you. I'll put this in the notes and you can access it and walk through all the steps here if you want. The first thing that we're going to do is start out at Beehive. So we'll look at all the prices here. These are all the different tiers, and you can toggle the amount of subscribers that you have here. So we're starting with 0 subscribers, so we'll keep that at 1,000. Just know that you will need to upgrade to get more features and as you grow the list. But to start out with, we have 0 subscribers. We're making no money from this. Let's just start out with the launch plan. If you really want to build this out pretty early on, you're probably going to want to start with the scale plan just because it has more features. Like you get access to the ad network, paid boost network, paid subscribers, automations, lots of cool features that you can't access on this free plan. So you can start a free 30-day trial. And then I also have a promo code. I'll leave in the description that I think gives you like 20% off or something pretty good. So make sure to use that if you want to sign up for this. We're just going to get started with the launch plan because it's free. I'm going to go ahead and put in my information here. Okay, so I just completed the sign up process. It sent a verification link to my Gmail, handled all that, and then we can go ahead and select our experience level. So for this, actually, I'm going to hit skip because I already know what I want to do here. So newsletter name. Let's pretend like we're in Miami, and I'm going to create for this video a Miami newsletter. So I'm going to call it the Miami Mix-Up, Miami Mix-Up at beehive.com. What's your newsletter about? Miami. Let's just say community. Let's just go with that for now. And then how often do you plan to publish? Let's say weekly. Continue. How did you hear about us? Let's skip all this. We don't need to do all this right now. Let's say, launch plan plus 30-day max free trial, no credit card required. So it's actually going to set us up on the max plan for free. So we have that for 30 days. So we'll go ahead and start using those features. Finish your publication settings. Let's go into settings. Let's just say all about things to do in Miami. Publication logo. So now we need to actually create a logo and basically a brand for this newsletter. I'm going to jump over to Canva here. I just typed in logo. And if you want to get all fancy about this, you totally can. I think we can just get started with something pretty simple here. So I would just choose one of these logos that are already built and throw your name in it, change up the colors. Let's go with this one. Customize this template. Spies, let's change this to Miami. And then let's change Mix Up. Let's do that. And then should we change this to like that? That looks pretty Miami, right? What's the outline? That's not so bad. I don't hate that actually. How can I change this? I'm going to change this color to, I guess that's like pretty Miami colors, right? Let's go with that. Stars. Let's change that. Stars. Let's change. Okay, we have our logo here. It looks pretty girly, but that's okay. We're just going to use this as an example. So let's go ahead and download this. We'll download it with a transparent background, PNG. And we've got ourselves a logo. Kind of looks like the Barbie logo a little bit, but that's okay. Publication logo, and then default thumbnail preview. We're just going to go basic right here. Let's use this same one, and then we should be all good to go. Customize your newsletter. So now we can actually design our newsletter. And again, all of this stuff, I wouldn't put too much time into when you're initially building it. You can always go back and do a full brand refresh, right? Like once you're starting to make money, maybe then you want to hire a marketing agency or put some more time into actually coming up with some cool themes and things that you can do in your newsletter. But when we're starting out, I just recommend keep things pretty basic. Now the content breaks, these are something pretty easy that you can, let's just say like spice things up with. So let's go ahead and grab this color that we had for our logo, and then we will use that as the content breaks. Perfect. So now you can see all of those changed. I also like to change our text. So It depends on what you want to use. I really like this one. This is the same one they use in the Hustle. So the body text and then the header text, you can use, actually, the header text, let's change to that one. And then for the normal body text, let's go back and change that to just normal Helvetica. Okay, so I like the way that this looks. So you can see that changed there. Now we can change the email footer. Let's change this also to, let's get that pink color in here. Okay, I'm gonna grab this and let's change that to the pink color. Okay, let's let it populate. Okay, sweet. Now we have that. Social links or top border. Maybe we change this to the blue again. The border, background color of the social links here. That'll make it look good because it'll contrast there. So there we go. This is not looking too bad here. I don't hate the look of this. You can obviously go through here, change up the buttons if you want to change up the font, all of that stuff. Actually, last thing here, let's actually change up the font style of the button. I like to change that to the same that we have the headings, and then the background color. Let's go ahead and use that same blue. So as you can see, now that's changed to that. And then let's make the font color just black so it pops a little bit more on there. Perfect. Okay. All of this is changeable, but for the sake of this video, that's where we're going to end the design part of the email. Explore the website builder. Your homepage really isn't going to matter when you first start out. The Miami Mixup, all about things to do in Miami. I'm totally cool with keeping this. You can obviously change the global colors. So you can make this so like the primary color of things right now is black. Maybe we change that to that blue and see what that does. Background color, I think we leave that as white. Primary color, there we go. Okay, now you can see all of this changed. I actually don't hate the look of this. Now it's a little bit hard to read. The primary font color is white right now. Maybe we change that to black. And then this is going to be used all around. So it kind of looks like the Miami Dolphins here. So I don't hate this. This is actually kind of looking cool. Okay, homepage doesn't matter that much. As I said, this is just going to be where the newsletters that you sent out are going to live. This is going to be like the blog post section where people can come and look at past newsletters. But that doesn't really matter with a local newsletter because you're sending out timely updates. So they're not really going to go back and look at past weeks. Maybe they'll look at this week's if they want to see the blog post version of it, but I wouldn't worry too much about this. Now, what does matter is your sign-up page. Sign-up page is huge because this is what's going to convert your traffic into subscribers. So the biggest thing that I stress for sign-up pages of newsletters in general is to only give them one option. You don't want them to be able to click in and click to other things and be able to click into your newsletter and explore it first. You want to give them one option. When they land on this page, they can either exit out or they can subscribe. It's binary. They only have two options, and the one option to take an action is subscribing to your newsletter. You can change up different things on the sign-up page, but I actually don't hate the look of this right now. If we go to layout, I think we can upload an image so that like there's an image in the background. I'll just use the logo as an example. Now, you want to make a custom image for this, otherwise it's going to look really bad, like when it populates. So that doesn't look great. What does look great is if you have like an iPhone that has a picture of your newsletter in it. That looks kind of cool. It's like a mock-up of what your newsletter would look like like on an iPhone. I'll show you an example of that real quick. So here's an example. You can see how to write better as a salesperson. This is what the actual newsletter looks like on an iPhone. I like the look of that. A lot of bigger newsletters do as well. But this is, I'm just going to leave this for now because I don't think that looks very good. The headline, the Miami Mix-Up. Let's change the description to get the best things to do in Miami delivered to your inbox every Tuesday. Other than that, I think this looks good for right now. If you want to get fancy, you can come back and change the background and do things like that. But let's go ahead and leave this for right now. This is all we need. We're staying super basic. Let's publish that page. Now, next thing on our list to do here is the welcome email. So to get to the welcome email, we're going to go to settings, and then go to emails, and then we will go to configure welcome email. Hey there, one more thing. So you basically want a subject line that's going to hit their inbox, and they're going to say, wait a second, you want a curiosity gap, like, wait, what's the one more thing? Or something that's going to get them to actually open up the email. Preview text, let's just say, you forgot this. There's a little curiosity there. I would actually probably just use like ChatGPT to come up with this. Your whole goal of what you want for the welcome email is you want them to read it and then reply to the email, right? So when they reply, it basically pulls that email out of like a promotions tab and says like, hey, this is an actual email that they're emailing with. It tells Gmail or whoever their email provider is that you're a legitimate email, that they shouldn't throw to spam every time or throw in the promotions box. They should actually put you in the primary box, which is where you want your newsletter to go. So your whole goal of this, in my opinion, is to get someone to respond. So a question that I like to use for local newsletters is, hey, one last question for you. What's your favorite spot to eat at in town? I'm trying to see something. I would add a lot more to this on like, hey, here's what you can expect every week. We're going to be sending on Wednesdays. If you want to sponsor, here's a link if you own a local business, all of those good things. But make sure you have a welcome email set up, because you want them to get an email right after, and you want them to move that email from, if it goes to the promotions tab, you want to end up in primary. You just want to make sure that they either respond to it or move it to primary. It'll help you in the long run. Don't skip this step. Okay, we're all good here. Let's go back and make sure that welcome email, we need to enable that. And then last thing here, let's just look at the subscribe form. So subscribe forms are super valuable. These basically, when someone subscribes to the newsletter, it's going to give them a form so that they can give you a bunch of information about themselves, saying like, hey, I'm interested in these things. I live in this area. Maybe I work for a local business. This is my age. This is a female, a male, whatever else. Create the survey. I won't go through this whole entire thing. You want to make sure that you set this up early so that you can start collecting first-party data right off the bat. The worst thing you can do is, build your list to like 5,000 people and be like, oh, now I should start using the survey, because you just missed out on 5,000 potential responses that you could have had first-party data on. And when people reach out to you or sponsors reach out to you, it's always great to say like, hey, half my audience is over the age of 30 and they make $100,000 a year and they live in this area. It's just great info to have. One other thing I like to ask for, or I recently started to, is phone numbers, because maybe one day you want to start an SMS list or send them details for a specific promotion you have going on. Having their phone number, I think, is super valuable, and there's a lot that you can do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and exit this, because I'm not going to set that up right now. And then you could also set up a custom domain. This is great if you want it to be like the miamimixup.com. So you just go over to Namecheap. I found miamimixup.com is available for $10 a year. Go ahead and add that to the cart, buy that, and then you can set that up as a custom domain here. Go over to domains and set up custom domain. You're just going to follow all of these instructions. I can make a video about this later, but it's pretty straightforward with these instructions. This will allow you to have the newsletter hosted on your own domain. Now, one thing I don't recommend is using your new domain as the domain to send your email. So once you put it in, configure email domain, to start out with, I would go ahead and have them use miamimixup.beehive.com. The reason for that is because their sending score is going to be way higher than yours when you first start out with. If you use your brand new registered domain to start sending your actual newsletter from, it's probably going to go directly to spam. Google's going to say, hey, this domain was just registered like a month ago. It's probably spam, and it's going to be bad news. So keep your email sending domain as the default .beehive.com, at least for a little while. Yeah. Okay, so the newsletter is all set up now, right? You can discover the editor here. In order to start sending posts, you're going to go to Start Writing. Let's go over to Post here. You can see we have none, that new post that I just started. Let's go ahead and start writing. It's going to create a new one. This is where you're actually going to write your newsletter. Now, I'll make a full other video about using this part, but one little hack here is if you hit the slash key, this will give you the menu of all these different things. If you want to embed YouTube videos, bulleted lists, number lists, all this good stuff. That's all great. Also, if you say like, hey there, and then you highlight it, you can change that into a heading. You can change it to bold, underline, strike through, all this different stuff. You can change up the font families, but I won't totally get into all of this right now. You go through here, email. This is where you're going to put your subject line every time. Preview text. Let's go ahead and send a test email. Well, let me send here, review, schedule, publish now. I'm publishing to 0 subscribers, so there it is. So now you can see this post that I just published here, and it's on the internet. So now if I go to our newsletter on the World Wide Web, you can see I have my first post here. This is where your post will go after you post your first newsletter. So we're all done setting up our newsletter. You're good to go now. Now it's time to actually start growing it. So the next step on the list is to launch your Instagram and Facebook pages. I'm not going to walk through that just because that's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to open up Instagram.com, Facebook.com, start up those Instagram and Facebook pages, start warming them up, putting content on there. You can just put like text posts with different things to do in your town that week or different things to do in Miami that week. Just start getting those to go and then start sending this landing page to your friends and family. So the landing page for this is going to be miamimixup.beehive.com, and don't send them that one. Send them subscribe at the end so that it sends them to this. Now it says, let me read it first. We need to take that out. I did not see that when we were editing it. We need to take that out. We don't want people to be able to read it first. We want them to just have one option to subscribe to the newsletter. So let's actually go back and change that right now. Design, website builder. Let's go to sign up page, layout. Okay, here it is. So on the redirect link, if you click on styles, you can say it. You can see that it's enabled. So you can get rid of that right there. You see it gets rid of that. And then another little hack, if you want to leave it there like for yourself, you can also just change the text to white so that it doesn't show up on that background. So you could still click on it, but nobody's going to see it, so they won't click on it. Make sure you do that. You don't want that on your subscribe page. Otherwise, people are going to get to it and be like, oh, I want to look at last post. But like then they're just getting distracted and they might not sign up at all. Just send them to this. So that's it. The newsletter setup, we're all good to go. That took a little bit longer than I expected, but hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you don't want to do any of this yourself, you want me to set it up with my team, just reach out. I'll put my email in the description. We'd be happy to set up, grow, write, manage your entire newsletter, and have it be completely hands-off for you and let the experts handle it. So that's it. As always, I appreciate you and peace.